My quick crypto family and my coin factory family, welcome back once again to another live stream. We are now rested. We are now not as erratic, had a night to sleep on what happened last night, and we are ready to talk about the current market, the aftermath, what is likely to happen or what could potentially happen in the next following days and weeks, market sentiment, and of course projects that I am looking at. Of course, Kaspa being the main one, but other projects that I am looking at as the market tries to find some support and eventually makes a move, which we will believe and hope that it will be a reversal and rallying up. We're also going to be reflecting on yesterday as well, explaining again what happened. I'll make a video talking about it probably a few hours after the stream is done, so stay tuned for that as well if you want it in a video format. As always, family, don't be emotional, be logical. We have seen multiple Black Swan events. However, this was the worst we have seen in history. So I understand if you are feeling a little bit flustered, but in saying that, I will again just showcase one of the sources that I showcase to my VIPs, which again is the definitive proof that despite the very tense nature of the market right now, we are still very much on track to seeing a lot more adoption coming through in the coming months, coming weeks, and years to follow as well. So that being said, the family, again, if you enjoy the content, the daily live streams, then as always, feel free to leave a like, helps me out more than you know, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back again once more to the stream, to the channel, to the family. Hopefully you are having a better day today, seeing the markets are making a recovery of sorts, although we are seeing again pressure, manipulation is still very much lingering about right now, which does make it difficult for sentiment to be fully back just yet. That being said, a family, Buffalo Theory, first brother, welcome back, my man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Wing Hong, second, welcome back. Bro, moon yet? You should know, by all means, we are not mooning right now. We saw one of the worst liquidations in history, the worst crashes in history. We are probably not going to moon, when I say anytime soon, it depends on your definition of moon. We might start seeing the market make a move going towards the end of the month. Again, it depends on the sentiment right now. But as it stands right now, I think people are just very fragile. They're still licking their wounds. So I wouldn't anticipate anything definitive for the next few days, especially as there's a good possibility that the S&P 500, which is still correcting heavily right now, but again, remember the market's closed. The stock market is closed. So when the market opens, we'll have to see how it reacts then. That could be a bigger liquidation. Again, we have to wait and see. Crypto, of course, is 24/7, hence why the market's reacted immediately. And Bitcoin is still in that negative trajectory. We did see a bit of a pullback. Saying that it's still holding above that, what I believe to be the bottom. Again, that was not taking into account a Black Swan event. I thought the bottom for Bitcoin was the 108K correction back at the end of September. And we managed to find some form of support around 109, 110K. But again, still very early doors right now. We have to see how it handles throughout the middle of the week, going towards the end of next week as well. Welcome back, Lau, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. And you too, Crypto, sub to my man. Hope you're doing very well, my man. We got Dag, a Dung Knight even in the building. Welcome back, bro. These low prices is exactly what I wanted. Just keep stacking. I'm glad your conviction is as strong as always. John Doe, bruh, indeed. A major, bruh, moment indeed. What's up, Cassius? Grabbed more, as you should. Keep stacking, brother. You got in at 0.19. Yesterday. That is a massive, massive, massive low value to get in a Kaspa, which is fantastic stuff. So I'm glad you got into that. Congrats to you. Of course, at the current moment in time, therefore, you're looking at roughly a almost 3x in value from there. So that was a very, very nice DCA price. Welcome back to Miles, bro. You're doing very well, brother. Mila, welcome back again. It's been a minute. Disheartened, but still hopeful and believing Kaspa's future. Manipulation will evidently subside. Market makers need to make money as well. Yes, it's a shame that it's at the expense of us, the retail traders, with less liquidity and less money, but you know, they had to make money somehow. While Trump's tariffs definitely caused FUD, the FUD in and of itself wasn't what it did cause the correction, but it wasn't Trump. It was more so market makers and the smart money using that as a catalyst to manipulate the market and sending it down. And then you could easily fact check this. I mean, again, we saw Kaspa come back down to 1 cent, but if you looked at the top wallets, the exchanges who held Kaspa or hold Kaspa, you saw minimal to no movement of exchanges at all throughout the period of time. So they actually weren't selling Kaspa. It was more so manipulation from the exchanges, changing their APIs, the figures, the view, the UI to make it look like the markets had crashed, and that caused a lot of panic. But you see a lot of trading of funds right now, of course, but Wallet 2 didn't sell anything at all. We've actually seen a lot of inflows, probably because people have been selling it back to them. But you can see again that like some of the top wallets here haven't sold or bought a thing, and they're controlling 3% of the supply, which is quite a lot. And Kaspa came down. Right now, Kaspa's currently valued at 5.7 cents, which I actually think is okay right now, and I'll talk about it a bit more in a second. But even then, it crashed back down to 1 cent, and these numbers, these values didn't move at all. So how can an asset lose 90% of its value if basically nothing was sold, unless it was manipulated on the exchanges? A coordinated effort using Trump's announcement as a catalyst to make you panic and sell. It's a disgusting game, and we got more sources about that as well. So just to get into that a little bit more so before we get into more of the introductions, Crypto Rover here highlights again the COVID crash. $1.2 billion was liquidated. FTX crash was $1.6 billion. We had COVID as well. It was a very big crash. But yesterday we saw $19.16 billion in liquidations. That is the largest ever in history, not even remotely close. Nearly 20 times bigger than the COVID crash in March 2020. That is crazy. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this was a result of Trump. That's not saying it was Trump's fault, although it was definitely an additive reason to this. Would we have seen a crash if Trump didn't make this announcement? Who knows? Maybe. But the announcement was a definitive catalyst that caused or resulted in market makers sending the markets crashing down, causing a massive bloodbath all around. And of course, you don't know about the announcement. Trump basically stated and alleged that China are apparently positioning themselves to place tariffs on every product they make, and some not even made by them, on November 1st. So as a rebuttal to that, Trump said, well, now we're going to put 100% tariffs on China to stop them from doing stuff in bad faith for the trade market. Again, is Trump telling the truth there? In the first part of that, I don't know. Who knows? Right? I'm not going to say he's a liar. I just have no information on that. So I'm taking him at face value here. Point being is what we do know is that America planned to put 100% tariffs on China. This announcement sparked a lot of confusion, a lot of FUD. Trump also said that he was going to meet with Xi Jinping, have a meeting with him, but then also said a few out beforehand that he has no intention to do so. So again, it's uncertainty, not good for markets. And then you just saw a lot of unusual activity from market makers and from other sides as well. 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement yesterday, a quote whale took a multi-million-dollar short in Bitcoin. 1 hour later, crypto saw the largest ever liquidation, and this position was liquidated for $192 million in profit. Somebody, conveniently, a whale, put a humongous short position on Bitcoin just minutes before Trump's announcement, and they made $192 million in profit. It's a dog-eat-dog world. The insider game is a disgusting, bent game. We've been knowing this. It's not good, but we can't do anything about that either. But there evidently seems to be some forms of insider trading, which of course is illegal, but who's going to catch them out? Blatant reality, heading into Trump's 100% China tariff announcement, markets were looking for a catalyst to pull back on. Now, we had seen a lot of building up of negativity. I mentioned it yesterday. We saw Jerome Powell the day before not comment at all on the monetary economic position, despite the fact that we have in a government shutdown right now. So people were like, well, that's not ideal. Not very good. So people got upset about that. That caused a bit of FUD. Then we saw the Democrats, who we believe that both Republicans and Democrats were going to agree in a bipartisan matter to the incoming market structure bill, the Clarity Act, which we then saw that apparently the meeting or the discussion on Wednesday, we saw leaks about that where the Democrats actually were trying to impose more rigid regulations, which would have made it a lot worse for crypto. So that caused a lot of backlash as well. Although crypto companies, you know, your Coinbases, your Crackers, whatever, like they did fight back and seemingly did put Democrats in their place, which is good. But you had those two negative announcements plus government shutdown causing FUD. And then you saw this big post as well. So you were seeing what the markets were looking for was a catalyst to start piling back on, but we just saw the complete opposite. And then market makers were like, oh, fantastic. You know what? Let's just screw everybody over and short the ever-loving hell of the market. Leverage was through the roof, and we had not seen a 2% plus decline in the S&P 500 for 6 months. We were in a euphoria market at this point. Nothing was oversold or overbought, but the sentiment was just ultimately very, very bullish. And then Trump's post became, not Trump was the reason, Trump's post became the reason to sell off in what remains a broader uptrend. The fact that a record near $20 billion were liquidated in crypto in 24 hours is clear evidence leverage was through the roof. Fear and greed are the most powerful emotions in the market. The scale had tipped too far in the direction of the latter, being greed. But that's always why I say again, don't be emotional, be logical. This happened as nobody predicted, and it's, again, those who did lose money got liquidated. My hearts go out to you. And again, if you need, don't isolate yourself, especially in periods right now. I saw a post in my community about how certain KOLs had decided to take drastic measures because they got liquidated. You should never do that. If honestly, if that's how you're feeling, then you probably are overexposed in the market as well. But don't isolate yourself. If you need a helping hand, you can reach out to me and I can help. There's only so much I can do over the computer, but I can help at least give you some words of wisdom, if you will. Not that I am in any position to really do so, but I will showcase some sources in the stream, which will again give you hopefully some understanding, some peace of mind of knowing what is still to come in this market. This is just a black swan event, a blip, a last shakeout before what we should be seeing is a major comeback. But yes, insider trading is apparently now acceptable. This will have repercussions. I sure hope it does. Whoever did that needs to be apprehended, because this is absolutely sick. You know, at the expense of so many innocent people, just to do that to, yes, making life-changing gains, but it's ridiculous. It's a dog-eat-dog world. This market has never been fair. The reassuring thing, though, one of a few that I'm going to showcase in the stream, one of the reassuring things as a result of this massive situation, the possibility now of rate cuts has shot up astronomically. Now the sentiment is that there's a 98% chance that we'll be seeing rate cuts on the 29th of October, which is roughly 18 days from now, a little under 3 weeks. Now, again, we have to wait and see what Jerome Powell and the Fed actually do, but the sentiment is really, really high. And who knows, maybe after this sentiment, you might see more drastic measures. We did hear some Fed officials saying a 50 basis point rate cut is definitely possible and should be on the table. So maybe Jerome Powell and the Fed will act in according to that as well. We'll hear some more announcements, I'm sure, leading up to that. But right now, again, markets are still licking their wounds. We can see Bitcoin, after shooting down to 110K yesterday, a 10% correction in value. We saw a little bit of a spike, a little bit of a pullback, coming back up to 113K, but it's still not coming back down today, valued at $111,000, down 1.65%. Ethereum, in a somewhat similar boat, we saw a 20% correction with Ethereum, 21% correction down to 3.4K from 4.3K. Saw a bit of a respite, a bit of a pullback, down 12% at the end of the day. And now it's currently down 2.32%, valued at $3,746. XRP equally went through a massive pullback. Everything went through a massive pullback, some worse than others. Real world assets, for the most part, held up a lot stronger, and that's also understandable. And I've explained why. I made a video on that recently. I spoke about that actually recently, and that's also why in my VIP community that I decided that now is the optimal time also to share a list of real world assets that I'm looking at, because market sentiment, the market makers who crashed this market, believe that real world assets will be ones to lead the next leg of the bull run. That's why they didn't correct as fast as everything else. The XRP came down 54%, came back up. It's currently actually up 0.85%, not really moving, but either way, it's currently valued at $2.37. To talk more on the real world assets real quickly, it's a BEC. Again, did see a big liquidation as well like everything else. Came down only 34% or 31%, so much less than everything else, funnily enough. And then currently trading around 0.004. It's down 0.8%. Ondu saw a big liquidation, but again, comparatively, wasn't as bad, or 70% again. Some assets corrected 90%, so it's still in the, the lesser half or the lesser region of most other assets. It's currently up 3% right now, valued at 0.71 cents. And then you've got the other ones like HBAR, similar stuff, Algorand, similar stuff, XCN doing very well today actually, which only came down again like 36%, it's currently up 20%. Again, real assets for the most part performed or held up better. From what I have looked through from the certain real assets, they held up a lot better. Some other assets didn't. Kaspa, we know, on MEXC only came down to 5 cents. On MEXC, it would earlier come down to here. But on pretty much every other exchange, it came down significantly down to around 1 cent, 85% correction in Kaspa. Finding support around 0.05, so 5.5 cents. And it's currently up 3.12% on the daily time frame, valued at 5.7 cents. For me, it's very important for Kaspa. While we have no definitive direction of where the market's going to go right now, we have seen in history that this is a very strong level of support for Kaspa at 5 cents. The double bottom was formed here. And right now, Kaspa, despite this massive liquidation, this black swan, this anomaly, Kaspa did find support at the end of the year, and now it's trading around this zone. So this again is quite a, for me, if it holds it, which I'm hoping it will do, we'll have to see how it acts in accordance to Bitcoin and Ethereum right now in the markets. But if it holds it, that's a good indicator that Kaspa's 5 cents is its bottom. And that should mean more or less Valhalla is the only way we'll go from here. Of course, again, not financial advice. But I'm hoping we'll hold that. We did see Kaspa also rally up to 6.3, 6.4 earlier today, which was nice. Of course, a bit of a pullback since then. Stuff like Okta. Again, Okta being a much smaller asset didn't see as significant of a pullback. 40%, doing up 5% today. You got Tau also didn't do as badly. Came down about 30%. And is currently down to 293. Sui was in a similar boat to Kaspa actually, saw a significant pullback down to the 50-cent zone, coming down again about 84-85% like Kaspa, and is currently now at $2.57. Say, again quite similar to Kaspa and Sui, down about 75-80% or so, now valued at 20 cents as well. So again, every asset had their own significant pullback. Memes, of course, fed in their own respect as well. Turbo came down 75%. So while looking at the assets, while us being in a Kaspa bubble, Kaspa definitely crashed one of the most, but it wasn't the only one. And some other big, even people perceive as better price action, at least price action wise, better assets, they came down as much, if not more. Again, I'm mainly talking about Sui in that regard, Say as well. But then even then, Kaspa also is one of the best gainers today as well, which I'll talk about that in a moment. But it's just me highlighting right now a list of assets that have all equally been affected, some more than others. But we're seeing, for the most part, again, some form of recovery from a lot of them. Until, I would say for me, until we go back into like Wednesday, Thursday time, I'm not making any definitive point on where I think the market's going to go. Ultimately, in the medium term, I see them going up still. I still think we have got a bullish full quarter ahead of us. That's where my stance still stands right now. I don't think it's the end of the bull cycle right now, despite this massive liquidation, this Black Swan event. But in the short term, we could still see some more wounds bleeding a little bit. So just keep that in mind. Don't be emotional, be logical. But again, we have got the worries of the tariffs. But again, the tariffs news in and of itself actually isn't the worry. Because I want to, again, just quickly circle back to remind you all, tariffs in 2018, but more recently, again, tariffs around Liberation Day in April this year, we saw a lot of negative price action leading up to that. We saw, again, a big crash around the market around then as well. But since then, we saw Bitcoin make a 60-70% rally, despite tariffs being in play. So tariffs evidently don't affect the market as significantly as people want to perceive them to believe, or believe them to do so. And nothing more than just a scare word to get people then off saying, oh, Trump's tariffs caused the market to crash. No. Trump's tariff announcement gave market makers a catalyst to crash the markets. Don't get them confused. Don't get them confused. It's a difference. We've seen what market makers have done, and most of them come out saying, oh, we'll learn from this. You meant to do this. They know what they are doing. They'll feign ignorance, of course, but they knew what they are doing. That's why it happened. Tariffs while still a lot of uncertainty around them, and maybe valid uncertainty as well, they have quite evidently throughout this cycle so far, and even in history, proved to not actually be as significant as a problem as Democrats and other politicians and other financial economists seem to showcase, because the market has actually been good since tariffs have been implemented. Now, it may have been better without tariffs. Again, we don't particularly know, but tariffs have not been a driving factor on the markets. It's been a negative impact from the headline alone. The headline has scared people. The actual impact on the market has been negligent or minimal. I'm trying to find some intricate words to use. No, I don't need to. So yeah, point being is that because, again, the sentiment behind tariffs, people are still going to blame Trump for this. November's going to be a time of uncertainty unless something changes. So despite the FOMC meeting, look, I'm not going to see rate cuts. You might see a bit of a rally ahead of that if we do get rate cuts on the 20th of October, just 2 days after that, or 2-3 days after that, you'll end up seeing the tariffs implemented, and that might then cause a bit more of a pullback. I still think October will end positive at the end of it. We'll have to wait and see. Again, it's too early to call that. But just to remind people right now, October started here. So currently right now we're down in Bitcoin 2.45%. So it's not even that bad. Of course, that's trying to shine a light on a very, very gloom and glum situation. So if that's insensitive of me, I apologize. I don't intend to be. But in the general sentiment of the market right now, we are not that down in October right now. In altcoins, definitely, yes. In Bitcoin, no. Right now, the total market cap for crypto is around 3.75 trillion. Yeah. And it was around, I think, when October started. Can I see exactly where it was when it started? October 1st was around, so about 3.9. So we're down about, 200 billion. So we can definitely make that back in the coming weeks if the certain factors are met and people come to realize that, again, it's just a manipulation at play. FUD is going to settle down, and we'll see, again, as Mila said, markets will eventually recover. And I agree. Now, I will get into the actual assets in regarding to Kaspa updates, in regards to other assets as well. This stream is going to talk about, when I make the market video later today, it's going to talk about Kaspa, of course, Zebek and Ondu, being two assets that I think, two real world assets I think are going to do very, very well. And two, out of the list that I provided to my VIP, I've got a lot more in that list of my VIPs as well. Assets I think have a good chance to make a big rally in this fourth quarter based on institutional sentiment. Zebek and Ondu are two of those. There are many more. If you want to find out more, again, you can check out the VIP for 7-day free trial, or equally for an additive month, so 5 weeks basically. The incentive to get, or the thing to do to get an extra month is to sign up to the BYDFI exchange, the affiliate exchange, down below in the description, and then follow the steps in the free Discord server, which, again, if you want to help with that, reach out to me on Discord and I'll help you out wherever I can. But in this community here, we provide a lot of insights, other documentation, a lot of trade alerts right now, especially with the markets hoping to start making a recovery. Especially, a lot of spot DCA buys, more so not so trade alerts, more so spot buys at these prices, these discount prices. We'll be doing a live stream tomorrow as well, which will be giving a lot of institutional insight based on the market sentiment as well, and a lot more to provide in there. So you want to find out more, let the value speak for itself, to level up your trading game, to get more premium insights. Check this out. Links down below in the description. Also on the homepage as well, also available in the free Discord server. So you can join there as well in the description, the free Discord server, or on my homepage here as well. All readily available. And I will also show one of my premium insights in the stream to, again, give you an idea of what institutions are talking about. Again, why, despite the market sentiment being negative, the ultimate mission has not changed in the slightest. Welcome back again. That's a massive introduction. Let's get into more of the questions real quickly. Buffalo here says there has never been more blood in the crypto than yesterday. Hope you're bored. Yeah, completely right. Market makers made that happen 100%. Set your limit, buy people 100%. Should always have a stop loss just in case something like this does happen. The China tariffs were an excuse to nuke the market, to cancel out all the position traders. Yeah, precisely, because if the markets did go up, they would have lost a lot of money, the exchanges. So they're like, oh, let's just ruin their positions, get them scared to do that again. And look where they're at right now. People are panicking all over the board. My borders are 1, 2, 3 cents and didn't get filled at all. only got in at some 4.5 cents. I mean, it's unfortunate that you didn't get your 1, 2, or 3 cents filled in. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible it happens again. I think it's unlikely, but again, what do I know? We're still in a, again, right now, in the next couple of days, next few days, truth be told, and I mean, it's the same thing regardless, but in the next few days, anything can happen because we are such a fragile moment in this market right now. So I'd give it, if anything, probably a week, and that will then give us a more definitive structure in the market and a better indication of where we're going. But either way, getting a fill at 4.5 cents is still really, really good. From that position right now, you're looking at currently up about, what, give or take 20%. It's not bad at all. And again, it's another good DCA buy in the incentive that Kaspa will be going up from here, which I do think is a very strong possibility. Everything, I think, will go up from here. Trump's fault, my boy. Not necessarily, Millie. And again, I understand a lot of people believe that. And again, it's a difficult one to really determine and navigate because had Trump not made the announcement, we may have not seen the liquidation and the crash and the black swan. But Trump's announcement of tariffs wasn't necessarily the cause. His announcement of the tariffs gave the market makers and insiders an excuse to use that catalyst to dump the market. Again, of course, you cannot ignore the evident insider trading going on here as well, which could have been done by someone on Trump's team or just some other random individual, who knows. Again, no one's got the information on this exactly, but it was a knock-on effect, if you will. Welcome back, Buffalo. Boys, you're doing very, very well. What's your favorite buy today on the discounts? My favorite buys right now on the discounts, of course, Kaspa, no doubt about that. So Beck actually is, funnily enough, so Beck is still above my first spot buy of it, which is around here of 0.0038. Kaspa's a Beck. Ondu, Ondu is doing very, very well. Is that near where Binance started launching? When Binance launched it, is at a value near there. So I think Ondu is a very strong bet, considering their connection to BlackRock as well. And I'm starting to look a bit more into Okta. Again, Okta's still holding that bottom band of that support there, or making that recovery from here as well. And I'll get to post to somewhat support my theories in that as well. Okta is for me the most speculative and risk one out of the lot, again due to its very, very small market cap and lack of exposure and adoption. But I think it's still got a good possibility to make a big rally from here. And frankly, anything here is decent. Sui would be good from here. Tau would be great from here. If you like Say it's not a bad buy from here. Of course, again, if you're still very much worried of the markets, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own risk, trade at your discretion. For the most part, everything should make a good recovery from here. But if you're feeling a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit PTSD'd, well, better choice of words, then stay on the sidelines until you have a more confirmed direction where the market's going to go. Welcome back, Double D, bro. You're doing very, very well, man. Thank you, Trump, for helping me pick another $15,000 in Kaspa at bargain prices. Some people don't understand the gift. So many people don't understand the gift is truly, this truly is, 100%. I completely agree. The fact that we had an opportunity to buy another cheap DCA bargain for any of your assets of choice, Kaspa, Zebek, Ondu, whatever it may be, I think again it is a true blessing. And that's, again, I'm going to showcase more so in a moment when I showcase some extra sources, proving again that this market still has higher to go. I mean, for one, again, I showcased yesterday, and I'll come back full circle. This actually does coincide to Ondu's recent partnership as well, or acquisition even. Ondu's recent acquisition coincides with this as well. But that's a policy coming out to support the growth of crypto and tokenization. So that's a law coming out that kind of showcases that's a lot more bullish sentiment in the market than what we're currently seeing right now. So again, I would not be worried that much in the slightest at all. Did Trump make Kaspa a bad project? No, not at all. Did he ruin the tech? Not at all. Did he kill the promise it offers? Absolutely not. Did he stop the crypto revolution? No, he didn't. He just helped us get cheap crypto. I completely agree. And those who realize that are again, as a lot of us are, very happy the prices are where they're at right now. And I mean, we're seeing a lot of them come back anyway, so it's a very, very good thing. Actually going to the grocery store and finding out eggs were 25 cents a dozen instead of $4 and then being upset by it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's only a scratch. I mean, it's a deep scratch, but Nothing that a little bit of a bandage can't fix, you know. People upset if they were long and didn't and was slippage, and if they stop loss didn't take effect. Yeah, pretty much. The people who are upset are those who are leverage traders and whatnot. And I mean, I do that myself, so I'm not gonna by any means put anybody down for doing that. I got liquidated in quite a few of my trades as well, but I did have stop losses set up, so I was, automatically trades automatically stopped once it hit that level after the crash. So yeah, well, the dip, but I didn't. But I think I'm an idiot or an addict. I mean, probably a bit of both. I think you can be a bit of both. Although I wouldn't, right now, it's again a very delicate time, but I wouldn't put it down to idiocy. Again, if you look at what's coming to the space, if you saw and understood what's coming to the space, I wouldn't put it idiocy at all of anything. I'd say it's a premium opportunity. But again, to reiterate, not a financial advisor. So please do your own research and don't take what I say at face value at all. Next question here. Oh, PC doing funny thing. I'll pay attention to Monday stock market opens, or rather stock market, I would say. Yeah, again, I think Monday when markets open will be a very, very important time. That's why I say this weekend's a very, very volatile one, very uncertain one. So just again, if you're a bit worried about it, just stay on the sidelines. Monday will be could end up being really bad, or again, really good, depending. SP 500 is still pulling back right now, as you can see. So you might see it come down a lot more when the market actually open. This is what we saw in the SP 500 on Liberation Day, or going into Liberation Day at least. We saw that was Trump's. This is around the peak of the market in February, whatnot, and they saw it come down here. Liberation Day happened here, April 4th, and then we saw it come down 10% in the stock market, and then saw it come back up. So you may very well see when the market open a big crash in the stock market, and then a immediate reversal as well. Again, it depends. It really, really does depend. It's really hard to tell right now. There will be more crashes, green cap this, probably. Markets never just go straight up. There'll be good and bad times. More Kaspa at 1 cent, just wait and have some dough ready. I mean, who knows? If that would happen again, I would be chuffed as anything. I'm going to have some dry powder for the next time this happens. That's always a good idea to have some dry powder just in case, because especially as a lot of people tried to buy at this time, they couldn't, because they couldn't put any money on the exchange. They stopped accepting cash. You had to have stable coins already readily available for you to have a chance to put in any spot buy. And even then, exchanges didn't want to accept it. Zebek not crashing only tells me there's no leverage positions. People, yeah, VCs keeping the project up. People not trading Zebek too much. I mean, if you look at Zebek, you can see the trading volume at 209 million, which is just a little bit less than Kaspa's right now. But I mean, yeah, Zebek's also a much smaller asset. It's at 400 million market cap. Actually, probably a bit lower now. I think it's 350 mil market cap. So, well, you can see it here. What I'm talking about. Wait, no, you can't. Market cap's not here. Interesting. Yeah, 350 give or take. When it loads up. Yeah, 382 market cap. People do not understand how the order books work, especially with the proof of work. Not at all. Yeah. People's understanding of crypto, let alone the other technicalities of crypto, like exchanges, like order books, like proof of work consensus, all that, there's so much. Most people just look at crypto and see bars on the chart, numbers on the chart, go up or down, make money, lose money. They don't understand the intricate workings of how it actually functions, which is another big factor to help position yourself or position oneself as a trader. Crypto going down again. We're seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum still bleeding off the back of what happened yesterday, but right now the markets are scattered. Some assets are making good recoveries, Ultra being one, XCM being one. Kaspa made a big recovery earlier. Now it's kind of coming back down to where it finished yesterday. Markets are just very much uncertain. And it's expected again because we know the stock market, the bigger market, hasn't had a chance to properly react to this news just yet. So again, volatility is expected. Uncertainty is still very much prevalent. Nobody cares about 1K dip. I mean, yeah, people won't care too much, but it's still not ideal because it could still go down lower as the problem. Explain to me how a fair launch project with all your positive news and your well buying drops 85% in one candle. What's the point in investing it? I lost 10k on that long at 3x. Well, okay. You could, I mean, to deflect, I could ask the same thing for Sui, which Sui is, for the most part, believed to be a much stronger project than Kappa because it's got a better price action. It's done a lot better in price action. Like, the answer to that is market makers manipulating the price, sending it down. If you look at what happened on the whales, what the whales did, the bigger wallets, they barely moved anything. Wallet 2, wallet 6, wallet 8, wallet 9, they didn't move a single dime. Yet we saw Kappa dump in 85%. It's exchanges, market makers, changing the APIs, manipulating the price to send it crashing down to get people to panic. You know? I don't know what more to say than that. I'm very sorry that you got liquidated in the way you did. I'm very, very sorry. My heart does go out to everybody who did get liquidated. But that's not an issue with Kaspa as a project, not in the slightest. That's exchanges deciding to liquidate you. If the exchange is taking advantage of you, it's not Kaspa being a bad project at all. Everything crashed. Everything crashed. Kaspa down 85%, Sui 85%, Say 85%, XRP 50+%. You know, everything crashed. It was a black swan event. It had nothing to do with Kaspa or any of these projects as a fundamental asset. It was purely market makers using Trump's announcement as a catalyst to liquidate you. Nothing to do with the project at all. Has literally not a single thing to do about the project. And that's the scary thing. Because it lets you know once more that this is not a fair market. It's not a fair space. We have literally no control over the market. Not a single bit of control over it at all. That's the scary part about it. And that's also the risk that comes with investing. That's also why, again, you always, that's why I always reiterate time and time again, I'm not a financial advisor, do your own research, because again, I'm not legally, so I have to say that. But also, no one has an idea where the market's going to go. I've highlighted that right now, as anything, the market can go anywhere, but particularly right now, because people are still very much, as you are, uncertain about how this is possible, what's going to happen next. Like, nobody knows. In the medium to long term, for me, I'm quite confident that it's still going to be doing this, everything, not just Kaspa, everything. But in the immediate short term, the next couple of weeks, who knows? Because market makers have just proved they don't care about us. The largest liquidation, the crash in history, and it's not even close. And that's not because Kaspa's a bad project. Everything crashed. Everything crashed. ADA going down, everything's crashing. Everything's just doing terrible. Trading is not investing, it's gambling. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a difference between trading and investing. Investing is, again, normally DCAing or buying spots at certain levels, whereas trading is, again, having an open position to end up making gains. There's a different ways of making money in the market. Trading has been very successful for some people, and I also partake in it. I got liquidated a lot by positions as well. I had a stop loss, so I didn't get too badly liquidated. I got my position exited when it did hit that stop loss. But yeah, I mean, everything in this market is a risk. That's why you've got to do your own research and make sure you're investing capital you're willing to lose, because you can lose it. That's the scary part. And market makers have just proved that you can lose it whenever you want, or whenever they want you to. Got to clear out the long before they go up. That's also, I mean, typically when you see a lot of longs liquidated and the sentiment really, really low, you see the reversal following that. So before we get into more of the questions, and again, some alpha source to prove to people why fundamentally the market's still going to be going up from here, in my belief, in the medium to long term. To get into some of the questions and also the sources right now, starting off with Kaspa, as always, we got this post here from XXIM, which does go to a little bit more so explaining to you Art Zero about why we saw the market's correct in a sense. Elliot, he says here, Elliot, perhaps time to discuss importance of good and unbiased Oracle, especially in these times when liquidations trigger. And Elliot did say here, in a sort of response to that, oracles are indeed a single point of failure, and what you describe above is something I have been talking about for a while. No current oracles, including Chainlink, can react to Binance overriding their APIs and just displaying zeros. That's ultimately what happened. Every exchange just overrided their APIs and said, yeah, these assets are worth nothing now. It's by all means, it shouldn't be legal. I don't think it is legal, but they did it anyways. Because they can. Either way, nobody, no matter what project you are, nothing can stop these platforms, the exchanges, from overriding the APIs and just displaying zeros and sending the assets crashing down. Building off what Marty Potter said here as well, a prominent Oracle provider just admitted there is no regulator, no auditor, no verification of the price of crypto assets they receive from weighted centralized crypto exchanges and broadcast it to every decentralized exchange, decentralized app, exchange, and endpoint in the cryptoverse. The entire perpetual future market is built on this database. So if an exchange sends a price to 0 for Bitcoin, they will gladly transmit that to the entire system, including Hyperliquid, without verifying it. They can do that. That's what happened. Nothing to do with the project in itself, be it Kappa, be it Bitcoin, be it Ethereum, be it Sui, be it XRP, be it Zebek, be it Ondu, nothing about the project. The exchanges, the centralized entities who control the markets, were like, you know what? Nah, markets are too high right now, too many longs. Let's just override the APIs and put a 0 there, send everything crashing down. No one's going to check it, and then we'll put it back to normal. Cause panic, make money. Liquidate all the longs. That's all it is. To put it very blunt, and that's the problem. Hopefully that will be the case in the future, but who knows? And right now, again, there is nothing that can be done about it. There is no way, there's nothing that can be done about it. There's none. Now that might change in the future. Maybe Kaspa, if everything starts running on Kaspa decentralization and Kaspa comes in with MEV oracles or MEV resistant an oracle system, maybe that will stop that from happening. But again, who knows? Now, talking about exchanges and whatnot, again, building on that, we also believe Binance would definitely be a factor to play in this manipulation, but also that Binance hopefully will now list soon. Again, there's no confirmation of such, but we believe it could be a possibility soon enough. This is building on a post from what Christian Lubbock had said a little while back. When my internet wants to load, I think I've got too many apps open right now, so my PC's just bricking it. But it's basically talking about the fact that since Kaspa reached its all-time high, is Twitter just bugging out again? Maybe it's Twitter, I don't know. But Lubbock's post basically just said that since Kaspa reached its all-time highs here, this is around the time that Binance launched their futures. And since Binance launched their futures, Kaspa futures, we've been seeing the Kaspa price continuously come down over a prolonged period of time. And, you know, we saw Wallet 2 as well getting around March 2024. This is when Wallet 2 first bought Kaspa. And they've been stacking continuously since then. And the act of, you know, Binance adding Kaspa futures is they can still actually make money from Kaspa. They can short the value of Kaspa and then buy the spot. So people are now got a strong belief to believe that Wallet 2 is either Wintermute, which has connections to Binance, or it's just Binance himself. Binance have been short on the price of Kaspa for a long, long time, manipulating the price, along with other exchanges like Mexi and whatnot, and then buying the dips and lowering the average. But as a result of there being so much of this, eventually we're going to end up seeing Binance actually just decide to list Kaspa. Fortunately, this post is not loading. I think a lot of my posts just decided that my piece didn't want to brick itself, which is really annoying. This is just fantastic. Is Twitter going down or is it my computer? Probably both, actually. Right, well, that's fun. I had quite a few posts to talk about as well. Well, let's see if it comes back a little bit later on. I know this post here was regarding this post was talking about the fact that there were a lot of liquidations for Kaspa, about how a lot of liquidation levels for Kaspa are around 7 cents right now, with not many being above that. So the sentiment therefore is that Kaspa will hopefully have relatively free range to go up to 7 cents again before starting to meet a lot of resistance. Of course, Kaspa did rally up and now it's come back down, so you might be seeing more shorts being applied at the moment in time. But again, for the most part, it looks like the majority of the pressure for Kaspa is at a higher level. Just the market right now is not green yet. It's still very much uncertain, so we can't confirm where it's going. Yeah, it's just... It also mentioned about how Kaspa is one of the strongest assets in 24-hour time frame to make gains, which again, all these posts just aren't working right now, which is just brilliant. Honestly, PC's bricking, so I can't do my job. That's fantastic. Thanks. Brilliant. Cool. Okay, well, we'll see if that changes. I might have just to remove a lot of the posts and see if I can reload it again. Who knows? As long as my YouTube doesn't go down, I can still stream. I guess that's a good thing. um, but in that regard, then can I get into any of my posts now? Oh, that's terrible. I think it's probably a my PC thing then. Well, what if I just do this? Do that, see that, just close it down, and then load them all back up. Will that fix anything? Or maybe overload my PC processing again, who knows? Well, while I'll do that, I guess I'll answer some questions, because my PC wants to have a little game with me. And Buffling's right, yeah, she enjoyed the streams despite the terrible price action right now. And the stream, then leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Nope, my whole PC's wanting to brick itself. Fantastic, nice. This is brilliant. Is my stream still going on? I think so, although everything's literally just lagging right now. I don't feel bad for the crash. Okay, no, I think everything's just bricked. Nothing's loading up. If people can hear me, can someone please message in the Kaspa Discord channel and just tell me if the stream's still ongoing or not? Because right now I don't know what's happening. Looks like my whole PC is just bricked. Nope. Okay. Okay, this is not ideal at all. I'm going to probably restart stream, I guess, if people can hear me, and see if that fixes anything.